Welcome back. Today I'm playing the best trait in Merge Tactics, Juggernauts, with every other trait in the game. This video is part 2 of the challenge, and you can watch this by itself if you want, but part 1 is up on my channel now, and if you don't want spoilers, this is your last chance to get out of here. Okay, they better be gone. Here's our status. We've played half the comps in the game, and we've only lost once. It was with my main comp for this season. But honestly, that win rate's pretty good. So, without further ado, let's get into it. I'm really excited for this next comp, man. We're going to be playing Avengers with the Witch, which is going to give us Undead, and the Archer Queen, which is going to give us Clan. But yeah, the hard part about this comp is going to be actually building it, because a lot of the troops are pretty expensive. Some of them might be pretty contested, especially since the Witch is talked about a lot right now with her new buff. If we can manage to put together the team, though, I'm not too worried about how we're going to perform. I expect it to be very strong. Now, I had to kind of contort some of my other comps to be able to use this one, but I think it's going to be worth it if this comp performs as well as I'm expecting. We got a Witch down. I think the play will be to sell there, maybe go like that, and then I'm just going to keep my eyes out for a queen, maybe. See if I can get one, but who knows? It might be taken already. I haven't really been looking out for who has the queen. Okay, we got our Valk back up. There's a queen. We have our comp built now. Now, he's also going Witch. I would like to block the giant skeleton probably, but honestly, I'm not too intimidated by this guy's comp right now. Like, he sacrificed a lot to get the build that he does have, and I mean, his build is all right, but I don't know. I think I'll just wait here and buy the queen next round. The Witch buff only kicks in when she gets to 3 stars and above, and since this guy has a Witch, unless he sells it, which I kind of doubt since he knows that it's blocking us, we're not going to be able to get a 3-star Witch and really show the new buff, but still, our comp is super strong right now. Wow, man. I mean, so far, this comp is really impressing me. I think I'll cycle there. We have a 3-star Skelly King, so... Oh, I'm a fool. What am I doing? I would go out on a limb and say that we probably have the advantage in this game, but overall, I do think this comp can tangle with a lot of the meta comps in the game right now. And hopefully it shows that against this Baby Dragon. I mean, Baby Dragon is a bad matchup for Witch, and still, with the Juggernauts in front tanking and the Goblin Machine stunning, I think we're going to have a lot of success, even though the Baby Dragon is a very good counter to the Witch. That is a comp that I would keep your guys' eyes open for. I expect it to become a lot stronger in the coming weeks. I've been hearing a lot of hate for Master Arena recently, and honestly, it is pretty fair because, like, I mean, not being able to pivot, not being able to move your cards, it's just super limiting. Like, it's not really good for the game, I feel like, but I don't think it's so bad because, like, we have Chaos. I hate Chaos. I don't think I see enough hate on that, but it's also because, like, there's nobody who's going to be making videos on that. There's no point. I hate Chaos. Anyways, we're playing Undead. With Undead, we are just gonna play 2 Undead even though we don't need them, just because we have some extra space. And we'll hang on to the Wizard just for now. I think I'll try and switch it out once I have more Undead, but tough matchup we got right now. This guy's got pretty high level cards. He's got some of our Undead, so luckily we counter Skeleton Dragons now, but it's a little worrying that he has those and the Ghost, so yeah, basically a mirror matchup. I'm surprised that we took that win, but we did have the Wizard on his Skeleton Dragon, so that's pretty beneficial. We'll get a bit of an eco going. We'll sell the regular Goblin, hopefully if we get a merge for it. And we'll grab our Skeleton King. We might lose this round right here. Luckily, we have the Golden Knight on our Knight, so it's not so bad. The Ghost is getting all right value because we did have Assassins just for that one round. I didn't really want to go Assassins Undead for this synergy, just because I feel like Assassins would kind of make more of a difference, and I want to highlight Undead. But overall, I think we'll be able to transition sort of away from that as we get, there we go, our Skeleton King. Even though I was just saying I didn't want this to be about Assassins, I think I'll hold on to the Goblin just for this last round, probably. A lot of good work being done in the back row by the Royal Ghost. So hopefully that continues into the next round, because we're going to knock this guy out, but we have a very formidable opponent here with 10 health. And they are going Assassin, so luckily we have no backline troops, but maybe I should go something like Giant Skeleton, come to think of it. Yeah, I think I am going to do that. I'm going to put a Giant Skeleton in the back so that his troops jump on it. Normally I would cycle the Skeleton King, but not really worth it in this case, losing the buffs. It's 2 stars against 2 stars and a 1 star, so we have very similar comps, the two of us right now. I think our matchup is a little bit favorable because, I mean, we're not getting the stun on him from the Giant Skeleton, but we did have a good troop on his Golden Knight, so my hope is that our Ghost makes a lot more of a difference as the round comes to a close. And it's kind of looking like that's going to be the case. We're getting a lot of problems out of his machine, but luckily its stun isn't going to bother us too much because we have the Juggernaut shield. We are suffering a little bit because he's getting 2 synergies for R1 with Noble Assassins when we only have Undead. At the very least, we're getting stun, or stall rather. We're not getting stun out of the Giant Skeleton, but we are getting a bit of stall on the Goblin's DPS, which is nice. We're probably going to lose here, honestly. The 3-star machine is just too strong, but the comp performed pretty well. Honestly, I'm happy with how Undead did, especially without putting in an extra synergy. Adding any synergy to that comp and it would get a bunch stronger. We got 2 goblins, that's nice. We are going for brawlers in this game. Now, brawlers, Juggernauts is usually played the other way around with 4 brawlers getting shielded by the Juggernauts, but we're not going for that in this instance, which does mean that all of our brawlers will have a shield. But the thing is, I don't know if it's going to be as beneficial with less of the brawler buff, especially because we're going a Giant Skeleton Mega Knight, by the way. So we're going to be able to shield up the Mega Knight a lot, so it's going to get a lot of value out of its ability because of the stun. But unfortunately, I don't think it's worth shielding the Giant Skeleton because it's probably better to put it out in front. So, I don't know, it'll be tough to say what I should do. If I end up facing Assassins, though, I can put it in the back, maybe. That might be helpful. I think we'll go for Throwers, Goblins here. Blasters, sorry. My bad. What the heck? Did the machine just miss both of its rockets? What is that, bro? Bro. Dude, I'm so tired. 2 goblins. I think I sell the machine, to be honest. Tough choice. Got put in a pretty bad spot there. But we do have a lot more elixir to work with at this point. I'll leave the... Yeah, okay. We got a pretty solid comp then. We got a double shielded goblin. A little bit extra DPS. We knock off the prince there. So I think I will continue. We have a lot of elixir, actually. So I think I'll just go ahead and grab that now. And yeah, nice. We got our machine back. We are going to take this round. Hopefully knock this guy out. And that other guy just got knocked out as well. So already we're off to a pretty solid start in the round. All right, we got no Mega Knight. He also has a Giant Skeleton. But luckily, it's not going to get value against our shielded troops. And we're going to have everything shielded in the end. So my main concern right now is going to be blocking that baby dragon. Because my concern is, like, if he gets fire or something. And the baby dragon itself is going to get a lot of splash because all my units are going to be close together. So, besides looking for our Mega Knight, that's the main thing that I think has a chance to cause us problems. Alright, we're not doing much blocking. I can still keep my eyes open for a baby dragon, though. Yeah, there's a baby dragon. I'll just go ahead and grab it. And we're blocking the XC in case he wanted to go for 4 blasters, which is convenient. So I'll probably grab it at the top of the next round if we move on to another round. But we might take him out right here. And he's getting a lot of stall, but nice. We managed to put it away. Alrighty. Nice performance from Brawlers, to be honest. Didn't take too much advantage of their extra health, but Still, always going to be a super solid comp. Next up is blasters. I keep saying throwers. Next up is blasters. But from the days of throwers, some of the more iconic ones were the Executioner and the Spear Goblin, who we're going to use for this comp. Now, in terms of like powerful cards, these ones kind of got the short end of the stick. I mean, the Executioner is not bad, and the Spear Goblin is going to give us Goblin synergy with the machine, which is nice. But unfortunately, I don't know if pure availability, like lack of competition, is going to be enough to give them a good placement in this game. This guy is going blasters as well, maybe, so it's a little worrying. No, okay. That was a little bit of a scuffed placement. Not optimal, but still, that's fine. All right. Is that guy still going for throwers? Blasters. Unfortunately, yes. He has the XC. I would have liked to use the Musk in this comp, but ended up working out better for it to be a Noble. There's a lot of strife and pain that went into picking the combos that I did. And some of it was just to like maintain certain ones that I wanted to use, but whatever. It'll be worth it in the end, rather than, what am I don't have time to talk right now. I gotta get cards, dude. I need better cards. Struggling in the Juggernaut department, and no XCs. Never mind, we got one now, but still, only one is not the best. We're going to take the win in this round, hopefully. It's going to be close a little bit. Luckily, we took out the Ghost for the most part already, but it was far enough away that the Spear Goblin could finish it up. Close round, did take the win there. Now, I need a bit more elixir, I think, before I can really commit to a Skeleton King. All right, now we should be good, but now the problem is going to be coming across one. There's a Skeleton King. All right. I'll throw in the... I'll do the old XE placement like that, I think. A little bit of a throwback. That's a really good XE placement for against backline troops in the corners and middle, because it pierces through. Mentioned that in my old placement video. Classic. Take out this Musk. Maybe before it gets an ability. Barely. It was very close, but yeah. All right, we're in a solid spot. We're against a guy with an XE in his freaking banner, so, I mean, that's a little worrying, but we do have our comp, so I'm going to let this game play out, but I don't know, everybody's kind of left. We're getting blocked a lot. Oh, assassins. Good catch, I think. It's a pretty scuffed Juggernaut's placement for assassins, but at least we caught it. That's what I should be doing freaking every game, though, so that is not a W play. That is a normal play. We're against the dead guy right now, so we should be fine. I'll probably bag that right now. All right. People are blocking the cards that I need. We are basically poised to pick up a lot of good cards right now. So one of these players is going to get knocked out, most likely, which means that it'll be best for me to have elixir and space so that I can buy immediately. And he's out. Bought the wrong thing, but still fine. Recycling. Huge. All right. We need an Executioner. I cannot end up with a 1-star Executioner because of that ridiculous play that I made. If I wasn't a coward, I would sell the Spear Goblin, but alas. Okay, at least we got the Knight back up. No Executioner, unfortunately. He might have picked it up since we didn't grab it. Huge blunder there. I don't know if it's going to make a difference, but because luckily we have immunity for the most part from stun, but we're probably going to lose here. I don't think the XC would have made a difference, but still, top 2, we gained for that. Not a terrible performance by the Blasters, to be honest, especially against a guy who was going straight up, like, with a comp that used Baby Dragon and Blasters. Honestly, it's a pretty solid performance from Blasters. At long last, we're on to the final trio of comps, Fire, Mage, and Electric. Now, I expect to have the most success with Fire, and we're starting out with Fire. So, I think this game, should go fairly well. Fire did get hit with a nerf recently, a couple nerfs, but it's still pretty strong. So I think with the baby dragon, as long as nobody else takes it, which is the bigger risk with this comp, because baby dragon is very popular because it's in blasters and fire. But as long as it doesn't get taken, we should do pretty well, I think. Nobody's grabbed any fire troops early as far as I've seen, which is good. Probably going to lose this round, but hopefully we'll knock at least one thing off the board. We did. Okay. I'll buy the prince, throw in the knight, and then hopefully I can merge the dart goblin and get a machine. That is my dream. With that leveled up goblin, I would feel a lot better at this point about going for the rest of our comp, because it'll be pretty easy for us to rotate, I think. If we can get a baby dragon, we'll be in a great spot. We can sell the goblin, plenty of elixir. We hung on to it now, and it's going to help us win this round and knock this guy out, probably. But yeah, I haven't seen anyone with a baby dragon so far, so this comp is looking pretty promising. I also haven't seen anybody running assassins, but we can always put ourselves in an anti-assassin setup if need be. Putting the baby dragon up there gives it a shield because it needs to be up a tile now that it has shorter range when it's not played with blasters. Like now it only reaches to the midline if you move it up. So it would have had to fly up anyway. It took aggro from the princess though, so maybe in the future I'll shake up my placement a little bit and avoid that. This guy now does have a baby dragon, so that's a little bit annoying. So I think we're going to lean mostly on the... Oh, wait, really? We lose this? Dang. Wait, we're out. So tragic. Yeah, we didn't have time to really level up the baby dragon. Unfortunately, I did say I put together the comp, so this stays in the video. That is so unfortunate. But our comp wasn't too strong. Weak baby dragon. Let it get targeted by the princess. Looks like the range nerf to the baby dragon. I didn't expect it to be as impactful, but in that case, it made a huge difference. So maybe fire's knocked down a peg. Next up is mage. Probably the weakest of the last three, I would expect. But still, I think that it won't be so bad as long as we get favorable matchups. Like, an opponent with one really high-leveled troop is ideal. And that's not super common, but if that does happen, that would be nice. That was really convenient, by the way. Wizard targeted it in midair, skeet shot it out of the sky, and got splash early. That was sick. If you haven't had a chance to drop into one of my streams, highly recommend. You'll be able to see just a lot more gameplay. It's a good way to get familiar with the game. And I recommend watching some kind of content if possible. And my streams are a good way to do it, I think. But I also get distracted. I like to interact with people, so I think this is a good chance for me to really focus on mechanics and plays that I'm making, decisions, and analyzing what was right, what was wrong, what went right, and what went wrong in a particular game. And so far, I think I've done pretty all right, but if you have feedback for me, always let me know. Anyways, in terms of comp, we're doing okay. We have pretty low elixir, so obviously I'm not going to sell and grab this Skeleton King. We do still have goblins, so the tricky thing here is going to be deciding when to slide over to mage. Because the thing is, mage isn't going to help us all that much. We want to be really solid before we really commit to that, I feel. Keeping our eyes open for an E-Wiz, but we're in a pretty precarious spot right now, honestly. Luckily, we have the machine that's doing huge work for us. Man, we're just having no luck with the E-Wiz, though. And nobody's going electric, so I don't know. If you are ever in this situation, though, definitely just play fire. Playing fire here would be the smart play, or probably blasters. There's the E-Wiz. Have I been missing it this whole time or something? Alright, we got it leveled up. Somebody must have been holding on to it. Huge. Alright, we're in a great spot right now. Unfortunately, we take out the prince, and the prince isn't going to make that much of a difference. I would have rather taken out the Xe or something, but beggars can't be choosers. Gotta be happy with that. Huge value out of the goblin machine. Stunning that back line. And we should knock this guy out right here. Pretty good, dude. All right. This will probably be the last match. And his comp isn't too strong. So if I do a little bit of rudimentary blocking, we'll be in a good spot. Okay, we got the Musk. I think we're in a good enough position that we're going to win this. We'll see, of course. But yeah, honestly, this comp did hold its own pretty well. I mean, obviously, at this point, I'm not going to profess that the backline is making too much of a difference because we're against Prince, but in certain matchups, Mage can come in super clutch. Like against a 3-star Queen, for example, if you have low level Juggernauts, Mage can really bail you out. So, not, I mean, the craziest example. We took this win pretty cleanly. We had a pretty solid eco, but overall, definitely, I would say a comp worth considering if you're in a pinch. Last but not least, we have Electric. Electric is very popular as like a backup, like last resort. A lot of players, if they can't get anything else, they go for Electric Juggernauts. We are in a solid spot right now. All we really got to do is keep an eye out for our Electric troops. We got an E-Giant here. So the E-Giant, the way I'm probably going to play it is go 3 troops in the front line and then get multiple double shields going. If you're going to learn one thing from this video, definitely it should be don't decide your comp before you start playing a game. I mean, definitely when you're pushing up for the first time through lower arenas, it works super well to just have a comp to go for. But when you get higher up, a lot of comps just get grabbed. But the thing is, there's so much diversity in this meta. I think they've done a great job this season of introducing that super well. Miss an E-Wiz, blind. Miss an E-Wiz again, I'm blind. But yeah, so definitely, like, experiment. Try out some different comps. It's really fun to learn other comps, and it's a lot more fun to play the game when you feel comfortable with a lot of different things. This guy is not going Assassins. Okay, he's got 10 health, so we got some work to do still, but we should be in a pretty solid spot. We have Electric Juggernauts, so this is the last game, officially. Yeah, so that's definitely a bigger thing when you get to higher levels, and that's definitely going to apply when the new ruler, the Golden Dragon guy, comes out. That's going to be a huge thing I'm expecting, because of how important it's going to be able to work with different sizes of comps. It's going to require a lot better knowledge. I'll keep making videos on as many comps as possible. I mean, I know I get caught up making a lot of content on the same comps. Like, I'm going to put out a bunch of Juggernaut stuff right now just because that's what's strong, and I like showing you guys what works. But the meta is getting more fleshed out. There's more variety being introduced, and this video should prove to you that you can definitely win with a bunch of comps. First things first, our record. Juggernauts won 11 of 13 games. That's an 84% win rate, with a couple of asterisks. First of all, the losses. I lost with 2 of the better Juggernauts comps out there, which is kind of embarrassing, but it's safe to say that those comps are good enough to win with, and this video proves this, so are the rest. However, this win rate does discount games that I lost before I could build my comp. I didn't track it, but I probably trashed footage of about 7 games, and in most of these, I could get my 4 Juggernauts, but not the other 2 troops. Counting these would still give me a positive win rate, but what if I told you that you can avoid that chance completely in your games? See, the whole reason Juggernauts are as good as they are is because of their flexibility, so don't do what I did and waste it. Go for Juggernauts first, then choose your other traits. If you just learn the best Juggernauts comps, then you can simply pick whichever's free. But you may ask yourself, how will I know which comps are the best? Don't you worry, my friend. I'm making shorts right now, ranking every single Juggernauts comp, including the absolute best version of each. So if you don't want to miss them, then subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.